As stated in the previous video of Rama sets out to help Rishi Vishwamitra, ultimately the King Dashratha agreed to send his son, accompanied by the younger brother Lakshmana, to help Rishi Vishwamitra to ward off the attacks by the evil Rakshasas. Guru Vasishtha performed religious ceremonies to bless them and chanted sacred mantras to consecrate the young princes with charms and magic formulae. Valmiki writes, Dashrath breathed deep the fragrance of his son's forehead before handing him over to Vishwamitra for safekeeping and care. A dust-free, life-giving breeze blew at this hour. The Devatas blew dundubis in the sky. The two princes walked behind the Rishi. They carried bows and arrows. The arrows in the quivers, the bows on their shoulders and their foreheads in between presented the image of triple-headed cobras moving in formation, ready to attack. Lovely image. Generous to the core, the two princes walked like Ashwini Kumars, staying a step behind Brahma. Both the princes were elegantly dressed. They had put on leather gloves. Sheathed swords were tied to their waists. They were handsome of limb. While Vishwamitra walked like the all-powerful Mahadev, the two young princes resembled his sons Kartikeya and Vishakha. Arriving at the southern banks of the river Saryu, a few kilometers out of Ayodhya, Vishwamitra asked Rama to rinse his mouth with Saryu water and vowed to accomplish the task at the earliest. This was a sacred ritual called Achmana before doing anything important. The Rishi further asked the princes to chant the well-known mantras, a chanting that would relieve fatigue, keep out fever and sickness, and ensure absolute uniformity in form, posture, and bodily strength. Rama felt uplifted on the Rishi passing the knowledge, the sacred knowledge, which had originated with Brahma. Rama looked resplendent like the autumn sun radiating light in millions of rays. Come evening, writes Valmiki, the two princes and the Rishi slept peacefully on the banks of Saryu on beds made of grass, unsuitable for the sons of a king. Early next morning, the two princes had a bath, worshipped the gods and recited the elevating Gayatri mantra in praise of the rising sun. Soon after, they arrived at the confluence of the rivers Saryu and Ganga. An ancient ashram known as Mahadev Ashram was situated at this site. It was inhabited by great ascetics with conscience pure as crystal. Lovely words. Conscience pure as crystal. At this site, once upon a time, Kamdeva's body had been destroyed by Mahadev when the former disturbed the Lord's Samadhi in order to attract his attention to the charms of the young Parvati. This episode is the subject matter of a famous poem by Kalidas, Kumar Sambhavam. The Rishi and the princes spent their nights as guests of the Munis living in the ashrama. The former regaled Rama and Lakshmana with stories from ancient lore. Next morning, they crossed the river in a well-appointed boat. Getting off the boat at the southern bank of Ganga, the trio walked through a dense, dark forest, resounding with bird sound and the roars of fierce wild animals, such as the tigers, boars, and elephants. Sal, Arjuna, Tendu, wood apple, and trees laden with wild berries abounded in the forest. Please notice Valmiki leaves no detail unnoticed and unwritten. Whether it's the forest, the depth of the forest, the density, the animals, the trees. Valmiki narrated the history of the dense jungle. He said, a long time ago, two prosperous cities were built near this piece of land. Some time ago, Tataka, a Yakshini who could change her appearance at will, arrived here. She is the wife of the wise Daitya named Sunda and the mother of the two chivalrous demons, Marich and who is as brave as Indra. And his brother. The latter is large bodied and with muscular arms, a broad forehead, and a wide mouth. They have been desecrating the two cities as well as the forest. She wanders freely in the forest as if she owns it. I desire that you kill her and rid this area of her terror and that of her son. Don't you think that I am asking you to kill a woman? In the line of duty, said Vishwamitra, a king has to take uncomfortable decisions. Tataka is evil incarnate, without even a trace of virtue. Rama replied, my father had asked me to unhesitatingly obey you. For the welfare of my country, of the cows and the Brahmins, I am willing to do your bidding, Maharshi. Rama made ready his bow and arrow to give Tataka a fight in order to annihilate her. He firmly held the central part of the bow in his fist and pulled at the string to test its tightness. This produced a thundering sound echoing in the four directions, which frightened every living being roaming in the forest. The Yakshini was startled and enraged. Who dared disturb her peace of mind? Walking a superhuman gait, she followed the roar of Rama's bow. Her face was twisted with anger and contempt. Her height touched the firmament. I have included a painting from the British Library which describes this particular incident. There is another painting which shows the place where the sadhus were performing worship. Addressing Lakshmana, Ram said, look, brother, Tataka's body is harsh, fierce and frightful. A coward could die of heart failure even if he looks at her once. I hesitate to kill her, for she is after all a female. Hence I shall slice her nose and ears and force her to flee. Striking at her legs and feet, I shall impair her mobility and minimize her strength. Valmiki writes, a fierce fight ensued. Tataka tried to blind the princes with clouds of dust. She showered them with stones. Rama stalled her bombardment of stones with arrows shot from his bow. He sliced both of her hands with the sharp blades of his arrows. A furious Tataka raised a frightening roar. Lakshmana cut her nose and earlobes. However, she could change her form at will. She disappeared into the sky and started pelting the princes with rocks. Vishwamitra advised Rama not to be kind to the cruel woman and speedily finish her off. Rama covered her with arrows as if placing her in a cage. He shot an arrow into her chest and instantly killed her. The Rishi and his proteges spent the night in Tataka Vana. The forest came to life as soon as the evil woman was dead. The wild animals became tame, trees flowered, and birds chirped merrily in the early morning. We shall take up another chapter describing the Vaman ashram and destruction of Rakshasas in the next video. Thank you. Jai Shri Ram. Jai Shri Ram. Jai Shri Ram.